Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to go over what I read in August, what I'm reading in September, and how I really get into books, because the hardest part for me is starting them, and I really wanted to show you guys some things that I recently started doing that have just helped me. So I'm currently reading Frankenstein. So we're going to start with the books I'm reading in September. Obviously Frankenstein, I think I'm going to get through this one in the next few days, so we might be September. I'll probably finish it like September 2nd-ish. And then we have, I just saw it, okay. We have The Unhoneymooners is going to be my next read. I really want to read this one. I started reading it on my Kindle this month. So I really enjoyed it. So I'm really excited to read that one. Next is going to be Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm really excited to read this one. I love books that take place in like older times. So like 90s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 50s. Like those time periods are some of my favorite because I really enjoy music from that era. And then I think I'm going to read, I don't know which Colleen Hoover book I'm going to read yet. I have Ugly Love, Reminders of Him, and It Ends With Us. My mom's going to read Ugly Love, so that leaves me with It Ends With Us and Reminders of Him. I think I might read Reminders of Him. I'm leaning more towards that book, but I'm going to see when I get there which one I feel like picking up. So Where the Crawdad Sings. If my friend gets this book, we're going to read it together. So if she gets this book this month, then that will be taking place of Colleen Hoover's book probably, depending on how fast I get through it. So that is the TBR for September. And then what I read in August. And to be honest with you guys, I was in a book slump. And when I say slump, I don't mean it lightly. I read The Music Shop in August. Let that sink in. I read one book in all of August. I DNF'd that book and started The Guest List by Lucy Foley, which is really good so far, but I couldn't focus on the characters in the book because I was still thinking about the characters in The Music Shop, so I decided to finish it. And I rated that one 4 stars in the end because of two things: the hidden track at the end and the 22nd chapter. And if I would have read those two things, I would have been just as satisfied. I didn't need any backstory to read those two things and be just as satisfied. So I'm a little disappointed in that read, but also at the same time, I gave it a 4 stars. I still think it's a 4-star read, but I am a little bugged by it. Now we're going into what I did and what I'm doing to really help me get in the mood to read a new book. Okay, I got all my stuff, and the first thing I want to talk about is annotating. I recently started annotating my books. This one is just super simple. This one is just interesting quotes and loving quotes. It's not Frankenstein is not a romantic book, so it's loving quotes and brotherly love or sisterly love, because that's what the beginning of the book is kind of like. I don't know what the end of the book is like yet, but the colors for this book are orange and yellow. So this little sticky tab is orange and this one is yellow, and then we have an orange and yellow pen and an orange and yellow highlighter, and that's what I use to annotate my books. These so far are my favorite highlighters for annotating, because I actually can do a full swipe with them without them totally bleeding through the back of the page. This one I have to use the very tip of for it to work. This journal I recently decorated. But when you open it, we have Music Shop quotes. I don't think any of you guys want to read Music Shop. I don't know, some of you may want to. I think maybe I'll start putting a rating in here by the summary. I just thought about that, but this is the book journal I've been doing So quotes go on the other side, and then on the next side, it's a summary of what the book was about. And I like remember more of the book already. These are Frankenstein quotes. They're in super bright, like neon yellow, because these are all just interesting quotes. And then obviously on this side it's blank because I haven't finished it, so there's no summary. I'm not writing down every single quote that I find in a book. I did a lot for Frankenstein already because there's so many that I just really love in these first few pages. But I'm trying not to go too far, usually. And it might be something that I do at the end of reads. I don't know. Okay. The next thing I'm doing, I'm not going to take credit for this idea. Sunny Kim, I watched her video. Let me see if I can find the exact name of it. I was watching her video, How to Become Addicted to Reading. And it was really good. Some things I took from that video were starting book Pinterest boards. I did it a little bit differently than she did it. This is the Pinterest board. POV, you're in love with books. I'm going to screen record so you guys can see what I'm seeing, and I can put it up there. So it says POV, you're in love with books. And then each one of my books gets its own folder within the board. And then I just have general book stuff just out. And then my book journal has its own folder. So music shop, I have pins in there that I made of quotes and my journal and things that I annotated in the book. And quotes that if you read the book you'll understand why it goes with it. And kind of the vibe I get from the book. And then Frankenstein, right now I don't have any quotes that I took pictures of, just the covers and then pictures that give me the vibe, what I feel. And then book journal is just pictures of the book journal. Anything book journaling goes in that folder. So I'm hoping to create a lot more pins for those boards and be able to, because I feel people will be able to go back and if I see a board and I'm dang it, I think I vibe with that board right now, and then it's a book, I'm gonna be I have to read it. I have to read that book. So that's one that I've been doing. And then also Sunny Him suggested playlists to help you get into the book. So it ends with us in chronological order. Spotify has a bunch of playlists, guys. You can literally go on there and search up any book, pretty much, and there's a playlist for it. The Music Shop is not a popular book, and there's a bunch of playlists for it. I bet there's a playlist for We Were Liars, for Shatter Me series, all of it. Oh my gosh. If I sound sick, it's because I am, and I'm sorry. So that's something I've been doing. Also, another thing I find really helpful is sometimes I like to listen to books as I follow along and read them, so I can annotate while I'm listening. And a lot of podcasts on Spotify or even Apple Podcasts have people who read the books. So I found one for Frankenstein, for A Gentleman in Moscow, Where the Crawdad Sings, Daisy Jones and the Six, Reminders of Him, Ugly Love, A Good Girl's Mind to Murder series. I had to read this book for school. This book right here I had to read for school, and at the time, now I feel I would enjoy that read. It's a super short read. The pages are so small, and it's 200 page book, less than 200 pages. Even though the words are super tiny. Even though it's a short read, I really didn't enjoy the book that much. Now looking back, I could say that I thoroughly enjoyed it and it was really good and really interesting. And if I was here now, I would have like read it and it would have been like a 3-day read. But back then it was really hard for me to sit down and read it. So I listened to an audiobook while like reading and following along with the book, which I find really helpful to kind of just help you stay focused on the book that you're reading, to help you like get the characters to come alive a little bit, especially if they have different people narrating, which I know Apple Books has free audiobooks for classics, so I'm pretty sure they have a free audiobook for Frankenstein. And I know that, I think it's called like Libby or something. Anyway, whatever program that does the audiobooks, they change the voices based on the characters, so that's also really, really helpful in trying to imagine the characters. And I know, like, for me, the hardest part is starting a book, but for some people, it's for getting into the characters. And there's a lot of like character playlists, character mood boards. Like, I know you can, there's a site you can go on, like if you search up the characters of like, I don't know, We Were Liars fan cast, like, you'll come up with like actors, like actual actors who you can imagine the character as. So if you have trouble like imagining the characters and even getting into the characters, that is usually the way to go. Those are some tips that I found helpful. So that's what I've been doing. I'll keep you guys updated on anything that changes. If I find anything that was just like total waste of time, I will let you guys know. But so far I've really been enjoying annotating, book journaling, making them time for sports, finding the audiobooks, finding the playlists. It just, the whole vibe really comes together. And when you're reading, a vibe of the book, like experience the vibe of the book is like what you want. Like, that's the main goal. So I hope you guys can enjoy your reading in September and that it is so much fun. I have so much editing to do, so I will spend the night editing and reading Frankenstein and annotating Frankenstein. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.